Hello. I've spent some time trying various mask sewing patterns to find the one that fits best, and therefore provides the most protection to the wearer and those around the wearer. I ended up producing my own pattern after multiple iterations. Most notably, I found that the sharp angle around the nose shape, as well as the nose wire, is critically important to getting an effective seal where the nose meets the face and eyes. The mask needs to pull in tightly around this area or breath will leak when exhaling. The mask I'm going to show you how to make is not the quickest, but it is the best fitting I have tried, and therefore the most protective. As well as the mask shape and nose wire, I have found that top and bottom headbands, rather than ear loops, offer far better fit around the face and also result in less touching and adjusting of the mask in use. So let's begin. First, we need fabric. I like to use two different colours, so it's easy to tell the inside and outside of the mask. Polycotton tends to be more moisture resistant, so I like to use that for the outside. On the other hand, pure cotton has more fluffy fibres that filter better, so I use that on the inside. If it's wrinkled, you'll want to give it a quick ironing. And you need to choose one of the guide patterns from the PDF. There are baby, child, adult and large adult sizes. I cut them out of card so that I can use them again. Place it with the writing side up and draw around the outside. I'm using a washable fabric pen, but it isn't really necessary. Also mark the pocket seams so that you know where to fold it later on. Repeat this for the other fabric, but you need to use the guide with the writing face down this time to create a mirrored pattern. And cut out the patterns. Fold the pocket seam on the pen mark and sew along it. Now we need to fold the fabric piece in half with the pen marks on the outside. You can see the pocket seam is also on the outside there. And sew from the top of the nose to the chin. Ensure there are no gaps in the sewing. And repeat for the other piece of fabric. Again, fold on the pen mark for the pocket seam and then fold in half with the pen marks on the outside. We should end up with two mirrored pieces of fabric. Turn one of the pieces the other way around. We want to place them together with the ugly seams on the outside. We'll turn the mask the other way later. Pin the nose and the pocket seam and the chin, and then leave the plain end open. You also need to cut two pieces of elastic, one at 40 centimeters for the top headband and one at 30 centimeters for the bottom headband. Wrap most of it into a little ball and put it in the middle of the mask, and just have one loose end popping out of the sort of plain side there on the top corner, because this is the top headband, and pin through it. And then do the same for the bottom headband, wrap it up, put it in the middle to keep it out of the way, and pin it between the two layers of fabric. Now we need to sew around the mask perimeter, leaving only the pocket seam open so that we can turn the mask out afterwards. Take your time to go around. You want to make sure the pieces of fabric are aligned and follow the pattern. We can also trim off any excess around the edges if we want to. Now turn the mask out. Put the loose end of the headband in the relevant pocket seam at the top for the top headband. Just pinch it in the seam and then sew across it, just back and forward once or twice. Repeat for the bottom headband. And we're nearly done now, but a nose wire really helps to keep an airtight fit on the face. So mark about 3 centimeters either side of the middle seam, and then sew along one of the marks, and then follow the edge of the nose shape, keeping about 1 centimeter away. Leave a gap at the other end so we can insert the wire. Basically, we're just making a tiny little kind of tube around the seam of the nose piece where we can put the wire. For the wire, I strip out some household internal mains cabling. It has a single solid copper core and has a heat-resistant plastic cover on it. Cut a piece about 4 to 5 centimeters and insert it into the slot we made. Pipe cleaners are a good alternative as well, I've been told. And this mask is now done. But we should still wash it, not just to remove pen marks and dirt, but also to sanitize it ready for use, especially if we're going to give it to somebody else. So, grab a pan, put your mask in, and add some detergent. Then pour some freshly boiled water on top, and give it a good stir. The boiled water is so hot it only takes about 10 minutes to sanitize. Alternatively, you can put it in the washing machine on a 60-degree cycle, but this takes longer and uses more water. Now wash your hands carefully before you touch any clean masks. There is a proper procedure for hand washing used by medical staff, and I recommend learning it. As I said before, if you're going to give this mask to somebody else, you really need to make sure you don't get any microorganisms on it from yourself. Now pour the hot water away, and then rinse it with cold water immediately to cool the mask down, and then hang the mask somewhere clean to dry. One last tip, the filtering can be improved by adding a layer of kitchen tissue on the inside. Fold the kitchen towel in half, and then cut out a shape kind of like half the fabric pattern guide we used at the start. And then just pop it in the mask. Don't get carried away with too many layers of extra filtering, because it can simply become restrictive and then cause leaks at the edges of the mask. But this is a good balance for me and my fabric choice.